Where did the Biden crime family bribe come from? There's been a lot of rumors about this. We know we've got a whistleblower who's got an FD 1023 form that's sitting in a closet somewhere at the FBI that Congress really wants to get their hands on. We know that Christopher Wray is going to be going through contempt proceedings. We know that there's a lot more information that we want to get to the bottom of. And the question is, who is this whistleblower? Where does he come from? We know the rough allegations are that it's a $5 million bribe paid to Vice President Joe Biden, and that it was for a policy deal. It was a quid pro quo. There was an actual exchange. You don't just pay 5 million donos for nothing. So we get an update on this from Representative Comer. And here he is with John Solomon and Amanda Head.
Done a lot of explaining to your colleagues, to the American public, this bribery scheme. I get a sense, and I've been doing a lot of reporting, that this does involve the country of Ukraine, a place where the Biden family has a lot of tentacles. Can you confirm that for us?
Yes, it is Ukraine. This Form 1023 involves a business person from Ukraine who allegedly sent a bribe to then Vice President Joe Biden.
And if I could furthermore, there's a name I've been very familiar with in that country, Mr. Mykola Zlochevsky, owner of Burisma Holdings. Does he come up in this scenario at all?
I probably better punt on that question.
Okay.
In fact, John, the name was redacted.
The name was redacted, but Mykola Zlochevsky was the name that you heard from John Solomon. Who is this person? What's going on with Ukraine? Why would they be paying $5 million to Joe through Hunter in order to get something done? Well, we have this report that was published back in September 2022 that detailed a lot of this. And every day that we wake up and we learn more information about this cover-up, all the pieces start to fall into place. So this report is relevant now as ever, now that we know about this form. But before we knew about this form, here's what we knew. This came out from the U.S. Senate Committee on Homeland Security, Government Affairs back in 2020. The Senate Committee on Finance Majority Staff Report, and it details Hunter Biden Burisma and the corruption, the impact on U.S. policy and other related concerns. So the executive summary says, in late 2013-2014, mass protests erupted in Kyiv, demanding integration into Western economies and an end to systemic corruption that had plagued the country. At least 82 people were killed during the protests when the Ukrainian president Viktor Yanukovych abdicated by fleeing the country. Less than 2 months later, significant events involving the Bidens unfolded. On April 16th, Vice President met with his son's business partner. On April 16th, 2014, Vice President Biden met with Devon Archer at the White House. That's Hunter's business partner. 5 days later, President Biden visited Ukraine. And so he meets with Devon Archer. 5 days later, goes to Ukraine. Soon after, described in the press as the public face handling Ukraine. The day after his visit, Archer joined the board of Burisma. 6 days after that, British officials on April 28th seized $23 million from London bank accounts of Burisma's owner, Mykola Zlochevsky. Same guy who might be the counterpart. He got 23 million bucks taken from his accounts. 14 days later, on May 12th, Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma. And over the course of the next several years, they were paid millions of dollars from a corrupt Ukrainian oligarch for their participation on the board. The protest in Kyiv became known as the Revolution of Dignity. Zlochevsky made sure that relevant Ukrainian officials were well aware of Hunter's appointment on Burisma's board. Hunter's position on the board created an immediate conflict of interest. That would be problematic for everybody, the U.S. and Ukraine. The chairman's investigation into the conflicts started with Chuck Grassley, and it investigated all of the shell companies. We've talked about many of these: Bohai Harvest, Rosemont Seneca, and others. Chairman discovered many problems, saying that Hunter's position on Burisma interfered with different policies. This report details some of the problems. Here are some key findings. The presence of Hunter Biden was very awkward for all officials there. Senior State Department officials raised concerns with Vice President Biden as well as Hunter, saying that his position on the board enabled Russian disinformation efforts and risked undermining U.S. policy. They don't care. It's about money. They said that this position was awkward for all Americans. John Kerry had knowledge of Hunter's role on the board, but when asked about it, he said, no, I had no knowledge about any of that. No, none. No evidence. Victoria Nuland said that Zlochevsky was an odious oligarch but they said, I'm not going to name names or get into accusing individuals. Hunter Biden was serving on Burisma's board, supposedly consulting on corporate governance and transparency, whatever that is. Zlochevsky allegedly paid a $7 million bribe to officials serving under Ukraine's prosecutor general to shut the case against Zlochevsky. Hunter Biden was a Secret Service protectee. A day before his last trip as a protectee, Time published an article describing Burisma's ramped up lobbying efforts and Hunter's involvement on the board. Before ending his protective detail, Hunter received Secret Service protection trips all over the world. Look at this. Hunter was traveling around to Moscow, Beijing, Doha, Paris, Seoul, Manila, Tokyo, Mexico City, Milan, Florence, Shanghai, all of the places, great places, all on the Secret Service dime, probably doing deals. Democrats' personification of disinformation turned into a problem. $4 million were paid by Burisma to Hunter and Archer's board. Archer got millions of dollars from other foreign nationals. Archer received $140,000 for a car the same day that Joe Biden appeared with Ukraine Prime Minister and Ukrainian legislatures. Hunter got a $3.5 million wire transfer from Alina Baturina, the wife of a former mayor of Moscow. Hunter opened a bank account with Gong Guangdong. They funded a $100,000 spending spree with James Biden and Sarah Biden. Hunter had business associations with Yi Jinping, Gong Guangdong, and other Chinese nationals linked to the communist government and the People's Liberation Army. Millions of dollars in cash flow. And Hunter paid non-resident women who were nationals of Russia or other Eastern European countries who appear to be linked to an Eastern European trafficking ring. Okay, that's the Biden family. And now we know that with that background, this was drafted in 2020. It all fits now. We actually have a whistleblower who was communicating about this. He says, I am a witness. It's not just documents. And he submitted a form to the FBI, and they're doing everything they can. Or he had a conversation with the FBI. They memorialized it in the FD 1023. They do not want it coming out because this would be opening Pandora's box. The Republicans could then go through all of this and dig out everybody who was involved, including John Kerry, Joe Biden, probably Obama, and many others, because they were all playing around in the playground of Ukraine, enriching their families on the backs of those people and the American people. And it is disgusting behavior. We're hopeful that the Republicans get to the bottom of it. But as the investigation continues, apparently there is a mole in the FBI who's keeping the Biden people apprised of everything that's going on. Representative Luna, she's here, and she's going to be explaining to us that the FBI has apparently a mole called One Eye in the FBI.
You know, that's a question that we asked ourselves, but I want to mention something too, Jesse. The FBI has moles within the FBI that are actively leaking information to the Biden family, specifically Hunter Biden. It was brought to our attention that there was a mole within the FBI by the name of One Eye that was updating Hunter on what was currently taking place. So it's in my opinion that the FBI, one, is definitely not something that we trust as House oversight, but also two, that they have an issue within their own institutions with accountability and leaks.
Yeah, the one-eyed mole.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there at the FBI, but when I was thinking of a one-eyed mole, the first person that came to my mind was, dun dun dun, Crenshaw. Who could it be? Does he work for the FBI? He certainly feels like a Fed to me. I didn't know who else it could have been, but that's the first person that came to my mind. Dan Crenshaw. So is the Biden family getting apprised of exactly what's going on? Who knows? Hunter is in a little bit of hot water with the judge out of Arkansas. And here's what this one says. They tell us the following, that Hunter, the son of the president, has been ordered to appear in person before a judge in Arkansas to explain why he should not be held in contempt of court. And if the proceedings don't go his way, he could face time behind bars. The president's son is facing a child support case in Arkansas. He's been ordered by the presiding judge in May to hand over information. Attorneys representing Luden Alexis Roberts, the mother of Hunter Biden's child, filed a motion on May to hold the son in contempt of court after alleging he failed to fully answer questions. The judge, Holly Meyer, issued an order on June 5th. In Arkansas, contempt of court is a Class C misdemeanor punishable by fines and jail. In her order, Meyer said that she would consider punishment or sanctions against Hunter, including incarceration for civil contempt until he fully answers discovery for a period of up to 6 months. So literally throw him in jail until he fills out the form. Now, Hunty denied that this child was his, but a DNA test confirmed it. What a nice family. And the two agreed that Biden would pay an undisclosed amount of child support. The terms of the agreement are sealed. However, Biden later asked the court to review this because he said, I don't have the money. So now the case is being reopened. What an idiot. During the hearing, the attorney said Biden had been paying $20,000 a month in child support. At that hearing, the judge ordered Hunty to provide more information. The judge said that she couldn't rule on the amount because no side gave us enough information. So this is going to be interesting. During the hearing in May, the judge said she would press the legal team. And you better show cause, Hunter, about why you should not be held in contempt. So this is probably the most serious thing that Hunter is facing. Yeah, the gun charges, the tax charges, all those things are, certainly troubling for anybody else, unless your daddy happens to be the president and he can protect you, as he's been doing for all of the other years when he's been in charge of massive swaths of the U.S. government. So the Biden bribe came from a Ukrainian oligarch, apparently, and we're going to learn more about it. Representative Luna telling us about the one-eyed mole out there at the FBI. We're going to continue to cover this. We know this form will eventually come to light, and thank you for joining us as we continue to dig into it. Thank you for liking this video and subscribing wherever it is you're watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.